Welcome to a shocking video about my Yamaha AV receiver. So I just was down in the living room where my AV receiver sits, and I was hooking up some different speakers, and I was cabling up the speaker, and while I did that I got an electrical shock, and it was very surprising. First of all, when you touch speaker wires, you should not get electrocuted, especially not if the amplifier is turned off. So I investigated, and what I found, I just can't make sense of it, but I'm gonna show it to you. For that I have here my voltage meter. It is set to 200 volts AC, and right now the reading is 0.0, and I have one probe here and I do have the other probe here. So to get a ground reference, I'm just going to hook this up to my power outlet here. This is earth ground here, so I'm grounded. Look what happens when I plug the receiver in, and it's plugged in now. It's turned off, it's not on, it's just in the power outlet. The power outlet is turned on here in Europe, so this is 230 volts AC coming out, and look what happens on my chassis. Yep, you're seeing right. On my chassis, on the case of the amplifier, on every ground connection there is, doesn't, if it's the HDMI, the RCAs, the antenna, even the box, if I put in here a screw, the whole chassis is floating at 122 volts AC. So I touched the speaker wire, and while I did this with like my underarm, I touched another case of another piece of equipment that was grounded, and I got electrocuted. That was not fun. Alright, let me show you another thing. I'm gonna change the setup a little bit. So I am going to change my digital multimeter so I can measure the current that goes through the thing, and I'm gonna set it to current measurement, plug it back in, and my current is going to go again to earth ground. We're just pretending that this amplifier would have earth ground connection from the chassis. Obviously it does not, it is a 2-pole. So I'm gonna turn it back in and let's see how many milliamps are going through there. So I'm gonna connect it again, and we can see that's 0.2 milliamps. Well, that's fortunately not enough to fry me, I assume, but anyway, it is a constant source of current. It's not like there is just I don't know, a capacitor that is bleeding off or something like this. No, there's a constant 0.2 milliamps current going now from this chassis to the earth ground. Conveniently, I also have hooked up my digital oscilloscope here. So I have my probe here, it's set on 10 times, and I'm gonna turn on channel 1, which is this guy. Now that the chassis is grounded, we should not see so much voltage here, so I'm going to connect this to the chassis. So this is without it, and this is connecting it, and right about 70 millivolts peak to peak and 0.2 millivolts, 0.2 milliamps current. That's fortunately not a lot, but it can shock you. Now let me show you how it starts floating again when I am going to remove this little earth connection back here. I'm just going to remove it, so it's floating again, and of course the display is blowing up. So let me change the sensitivity, and let's adjust the sensitivity. Here we are. This is, oh my, it's 50 volts per division. The oscilloscope reads this chassis is floating at 300 volts peak to peak at a frequency of 50 Hertz, and it equals the RMS of 110 volts. 306 volts peak to peak on the chassis. I don't think this is supposed to be like this, so if you have any clue what could have gone wrong there, please let me know, because I want to fix this thing. This is a Yamaha RX-V775. I've had it for like 10 years, it always worked great. I don't know for how long it has this fault, but I just noticed it today because it electrocuted me. It is complete. It was never opened. I never messed with it, with the internals. So if there is a way for me to fix it, I'm happy to take it apart, take the cover off, and see what's going on inside. But first, I need a clue what to look for. So it's turned off. So I guess it has to do something with the transformer. I mean, I don't know. Why is this thing floating at 300 volts peak to peak on the chassis? That's my question, because that's definitely not safe. Alright, that was it for now, and I hope I can find something.